I think the thing is like I feel like every fucking city's having a beer thing, you know?
This is true.
Like Albany, New York, just to pick a city at random, probably has like 10 microbreweries and shit, you know? Um, Let me do a little story. Oh my God, it's happening. We're live on my Twitch. I'm gonna do it again. Oh my God, it's happening. We're live on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Johan Lenox. I'm listening to your music. I'm trying to connect you to each other, I guess. Submit it. What is it? Toyboxsubmissions@gmail.com.
You got it. All right, let me
Okay.
send out a ping real quick, and looks like we've already got Toybox Tristan in the house.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like every city is like experiencing a microbrewery renaissance for the past 20 years.
I agree.
Now, if they were experiencing a cocktail renaissance, then I'd be pretty intrigued by that.
Well, they have their own canned cocktails, which
The treehouse people do.
yeah, I feel like that's like a significant
That
step
stuff
forward.
that stuff is definitely a thing it's kind of cool. I mean, I feel like even 3 or 4 years ago we had canned cocktails and it was like that was like a really niche thing that no one was doing it now. It's blowing up. Treehouse Brewing, Charlton, Massachusetts. Charlton. It just sounds made up. Okay. Oh, they've got one in Sandwich too. Deerfield. Wow, they got a lot of locations. Okay. How do I learn about the cocktail list? More info, maybe? Cans only, cans and draft. I don't know, man. I'm having trouble.
Hold on, I'll
I've been
find
looking
it.
I've been looking for 20 whole second. Not even that, probably. Treehouse Brewing canned cocktails. Okay. It seems like they don't want to commit to what shit they have online, maybe. Intriguing. Um,
They have a coffee liqueur.
oh wait, here we go. Here we go. I think I found it. Yeah, those are cool. Not my thing, but it makes sense. Um, Interesting.
They
And
have they have Rose
a lot of
Kennedy.
fucking beers.
They've got Rose Kennedy, Concord Club, Airmail cocktail, key lime vodka and
Where how
soda.
do I find that? How do I see this? Like how do I like I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, hold on.
Spirits.
If you go to like the ordering and then like
Right.
takeout, yeah, and then you go to spirits, it's down there. Hi everybody, we're looking at cocktails for a second, then we're gonna get into it. Ace
Fire
Laurent.
lemon vodka soda. Like, I don't know. Airmail, okay. Gin and tonic. All right, let's. They're not really. They're not pushing any. They're not really pushing any big boundaries with this. It's basically just fucking vodkas. Like these are basically. You know what these are? They're basically.
Seltzers.
Um, yeah. They might. I don't know. Maybe they're a little more flavorful, but they're not like cocktails. I don't know. I'm over it. But cool. I'm sure the beer's good. Keep an eye out if I'm ever in Deerfield or Sandwich. Look at how yellow this is.
Is that green chartreuse or yellow chartreuse in there?
It's the shit called Sue's.
Oh yeah, you keep talking about that. What's going on, everybody? You got Rizzo, you got Drache, you got Mont Floyd.
Also used to drink it. He was a big fan. He used to paint pictures of it too. All right, yeah. Let me open up my little. This is how I do this. I'll be in on the phone version, so I can chat. Yeah, I hope everyone shows up. If you got 40 submissions, then we should get 40. How's everybody doing? I watched this video today of Anthony Fantano responding to a Redditor who asked him how to cope with going bald. And he did like a 10-minute long video about it. Maybe it was 5 minutes. It felt like 10 minutes though. Um,
Josh, a serious question. How long have you had those headphones?
I got him in shit. I probably got him like around the time I moved to LA. I think maybe longer, maybe like 8 years, something like that. But they were honestly fine the whole time. And then I think just at one point, like I put them in a backpack and they started to rip, and once they start, the shit just starts flaking off. You know, very like poorly made, the plastic they used to kind of wrap that shit up. But these pieces are, I think, are pretty easy to replace and pretty just like take them off and order new ones. My friend Will, I think, or he said he ordered a pair for me, but then I have to like meet up with him to get him to put them on. So I don't know, maybe I'll just get my own. But yeah, the headphones themselves are in great condition. It's just this shit, but I just don't fucking care. And actually, for a while, I didn't really used to use these. You probably remember I used to just use the earbuds all the time, and then I lost a pair and just haven't gotten around. It was like right before tour, I think. I just haven't gotten around to getting another pair, so I just switched to this. But it's interesting because it's like I'm hearing everything much higher quality when I work on it, but I think it's made like no difference at all in my brush.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe like the high end, I'm a little more sensitive to now because like on the earbuds, that shit is just getting nicely off. I like how music sounds on the earbuds a lot, though. I really like how
Yeah.
it just like glues everything together perfectly. But I do still listen. I have the ones that only. So I don't have AirPods, but I have these that where the connection, it just looks like that at the end, so it'll only plug into an iPhone.
Yeah.
Um, so I do listen to a lot of shit on them still, and I listen to my mixes, I guess. I don't mix, but I listen to like the roughs that I'm working on my iPhone when I'm out, even though I worked on them with the headphones on. So sometimes it's like, um, I don't even notice sometimes that it's just like I hear it in two different settings, like on a pretty regular basis. But it's probably a good thing. But anyway, we're here. Oh, we do have a lot of people. All right, cool. Let's fucking listen to something. Let's just get into it.
Yeah. All right. First up, a little bit of overview, people. If you need help submitting, exclamation point submit in the chat. It'll bring up a little how to. If you're not on the email list, I'll add you to the email list as well. Join the Discord. It's exclamation Discord in the chat. And first up, and a reminder: if you subscribe, you get bumped to the front of the line, and we'll actually guarantee to listen. Otherwise, it's entirely random to make sure everyone has a fair
We'll definitely
chance.
try to get through as many as we can, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the subscribers. Yeah. Let's do
For
a non-subscriber first, though. Let's do like a new one.
I got Andy J. Andy J. Productions or Andy J. Producer.
Okay. So we usually just listen to like a minute of it. So just that's it. Like if the best part of the song is 2 minutes in and stuff. Although you said you can now play it from halfway through, right?
Up and down, these feelings come around and take control as they go. I got lost and you don't know what I found. Caught a wave, now I got no control. Falling into you, baby. Girl, you got me out of my lane. Can't pull my brakes 'cause of you, my baby. I let my feelings lead the way on a one-way train, yeah. Letting go of my doubts, I give it. You could take me high, you could take me high. I'm overboard now, it's sink or swim. You could save my life, let me take me high. Letting go of my doubts, I give it. You could take me high, you could take.
That was good.
Wow. That was tight, man. That was great. Whose voice was that? Was it you too?
That
I had a
was-
couple thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, it was called.
Was that their voice or was that their production? Though you said their name is. It's like producer was like in their name, right?
Yeah, so it was. They've got two features, Lazy and Jonah Zed, and this track is called Overboard.
I assume we only heard from one of them because I feel like I only heard one voice. Shit. Yeah, no, that was tight. I mean, the vocal was like whoever that was very, very close to the heart of where I like to be vocally. I mean, it kind of reminded me of myself. I like the production. I like that kind of like moody dance shit, sort of Weekend and like that dude Dubs or whatever, and you know, maybe like Majid Jordan and shit like that a little bit. I don't have very many references that I can go to, but
The Dubs
I
one was a good
really,
one.
yeah, I love that dude. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of all that shit, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, I only had like two issues. One was I felt like the progression in the pre-chorus wasn't like it kind of went to that flat seven, whatever. I mean, it didn't feel like it necessarily was like complementing the melody. It was a great melody, and it's also I think it was a good progression. But I think together, I feel like if it's not out yet, I would potentially mess around with a couple different, slightly different variations on the chords, or I don't know. Chorus, same thing, but especially on that pre-chorus, I think. And then I felt like the chorus was just like a little bit too. It like exploded a little bit too much production wise to me. Like it was because I think the whole song passes for pretty like cool and moody and shit. And then I feel like when you get to that chorus, it just feels a little too like pop. And I like pop music, but I don't know. I feel like the vocal and I think I would just try to maybe restrain it a bit and just keep it in this dark minimal place. So you think about like Hold On, We're Going Home or whatever by Drake, which isn't really like a dance tempo song, but it has a sort of like same mood and like, very little changes in there. It's like the chorus hits and you add like one sound or something. It's really, it commits to that minimalistic kind of moodiness. And I feel like it's like more powerful. I don't think it was bad when it blew up, but I just felt like I might have been more sold by just the kind of like menacing sort of building kind of feel without it ever really getting there. But yeah, I love it. The voice is great. I love the sounds, all this sort of synthetic production and shit was sounded fantastic. What else we got? Who is this again? Yeah, drop the @ in the chat if you haven't, so we can follow you. What else we got?
Awesome. We got two new subscribers. Shout out to JoJo Solar and shout out to
No,
JDef Music.
I assume JDef is making a joke. But no, you don't have to submit songs with vocals that sound like Johan. Sound like me. You don't even have to submit stuff with vocals. You could just send like production. You could even send an acapella. Although no, I don't think anyone's ever done that. One person did send like a demo. I think it was was it last week or a few weeks ago? Someone sent a song that was just straight up like a guitar iPhone demo.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah. All right, cool. Let's keep going. I wanna hear all this music.
Hell yeah, that was Andy J. PROD for producer, I assume, in the chat. And they're new subscribers, so shout out to them.
It's fucking sick.
Awesome.
Thank you. That was really great. I really liked it.
Let me pull the.
Everybody follow this character. Get connected. Make some shit together. This is why we're here, so y'all can create a community and work with each other and have more people to collab with, because that's how it starts. Please.
Next up is Johari Turner. This was our first new subscriber, so shout out to them. They're JoJo Solar 06 in the chat, and this is their track Basquiat Dreams.
Cool title.
No, yeah. No, you hate the way that I've been stunning. The greatest of meals, even a giant couldn't stomach. I've been coming for next ever since I was out the stomach. Don't be sounding alarms, no one helping, no one is coming like. World domination is on my mind. I hate it if I took the world and set it all on fire. The greatest, you could spell it out and put it as my title. This history in the making, you can see it in the writing like. Sweet, sweet dreams, they follow me. Tell me to keep on proceeding. Heaven knows where it will lead. Heaven knows where it will lead. Showtime.
Cool. I like the vocals. I like the production. I mean, there's some mixed stuff in there, like that. There was that part with the humming. I feel like the humming was a lot louder than the lead. It was like maybe 20 or 30 seconds ago. And then that ending, that synth came in, and that synth was also a lot louder than the lead. I think that'd be the first thing I would say would just be the. It's not even a mix thing, even. It's really just like a levels thing, just to kind of make sure your lead's always up in front. It was at the beginning, but then it kind of got drowned out. It's a little confusing, but. I thought it was cool. I thought there was some cool textural stuff. Felt like maybe that synth came in a little early. Like it was enough ideas. I felt like we could have, like the section before, it could have been a little longer maybe, and then the synth coming later. I just felt like, but it might just be because it was so loud that I was just like, whoa, what the fuck, you know? But I feel like just giving you a second to, it's sort of the same thing as the last one. Maybe I'm just in a mood today where I don't really want shit to change that much, but I feel like um, just letting it stuff grow and do what it does, and then like, you know, saving some stuff for later. But I think it's cool. I like your voice. This is self-produced, or how do they do it?
Apologies, they submitted their entire project, which is called Basquiat Dreams. That first
Oh
track
yeah,
was
yeah.
called
Okay, cool.
Showtime.
Okay, cool. Well, it's probably out already then, but that'd be my note for next time. But that's cool though. I mean, I fuck with it. I mean, sorry we don't get to listen to the whole project and shit. It's just obviously just a lot of people send me a lot of music, and this is just the best I can do. But definitely drop your Instagram and stuff in the chat so people can follow. And nice. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, I think you should definitely keep going with the direction you're working on. And like, I definitely heard a lot of cool ideas in there that I'd love to hear more just as you develop. And yeah, well, or send another one next week and listen to it. I mean, I'm here like every week we do this shit. So yeah, okay.
Awesome. That was Johari Turner, and in the chat is
Everyone follow
Jojo
this
Silva.
guy though. Follow each other. It's really important to me that you guys do that. That's really the most important thing. Because everybody's like, how do you get the Travis Scott plug or the fucking 070 shake or whatever it is? Like, it's you start by like doing shit with each other and then you each are building your own community and then building together, and like it's that community you're doing this shit with. It's gonna help you get there. It's not just cold DMing random famous people and hoping that they respond. Okay, keep going.
Awesome. Next up is the second subscriber of the night. That was JDef, and they're in the chat as JDef Music, and this is their track, Call Me. Their artist name is J Definition.
Here's a quick question. Let me answer this question before you hit play. Johan, a lot of my production is based in piano first. Do you have any tips on how to make synthetic strings sound more lifelike? I think the way I would say to do this would be, first of all, just find a violin player that you're friends with and just do that shit instead. But if you can't do that, you probably find them on like too. I'm always advocating for this. But if you can't do that and you really want to do it with MIDI, I think like to me the big things with that is just like don't don't there's certain things that you can do with MIDI strings and would just sometimes chop up old strings from old sessions and do that you can do where the phrasing doesn't really matter, and it's basically like one hitters, like staccato notes, like like that stuff sounds pretty real usually, because it's like they record the hit and then you play it on that note and it's still the one hit. It doesn't have to transition into or out of anything. Big stabs, same idea, like done, like that stuff tends to sound pretty good. Although sometimes it's a little weak. But the staccato stuff is good. The really long, slow legato pads sound good, kind of for the same reason, because it's just a very continuous sound, not a lot of transitions and stuff. I would say a lot of reverb on that stuff helps. The stuff that does not sound good in MIDI is like melodies that have a phrase like da 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 da. Even something like that, as simple as that, it's almost impossible to do something like that sounds good with MIDI, because it's like da 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 da. I sort of explained this before, but it's like each one of those notes has a different articulation in it, because da da. Right, it's like the first one has like almost a swell and it's long. It goes into the next note. It probably even like slides there a tiny bit. The second note's a little bit shorter. Then dun dun. Right, that third one dun. That's like a little louder and staccato and emphasized. Right, and then dun is like a little less emphasized. It's like capturing what a musician, even like a not very good musician, would do to phrase that. Like they're still doing physical shit to make it sound that way. not even to make it sound that way even, but just like they're just doing it by the nature of having to play the instrument as a human being, like that just gives it a certain sound that makes it sound live. It's fucking impossible to recreate that shit in MIDI. Like you could get sound sets and go through like a million different articulations on each note and try to find the right ones to do it, but at that rate I think you'd be so much better off just finding a musician to do it. So my answer would be, if you're doing it in MIDI, just avoid stuff like that. Even stuff like dun, da, 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 like even something that seems like fully legato, but it's just fairly quick. Like to get the phrasing on da, 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 and get that to sound like a musician playing it, or even just the way I sang it in MIDI, fucking impossible. It really is. Like I've never heard it done well. Not just strings, but like MIDI. If you were doing like trumpets or clarinets or any of that stuff, it all sounds fucking terrible. But dun 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 dun, that shit you can do pretty easily, and the really slow pads you can do pretty easily. So I would just say, just find ways, and if you want like a high sustained note over a chorus or whatever, just find the one note that sounds good and just hold it for like 4 bars, and then maybe change it once on the fourth bar or something, like real simple stuff, I think, in the legato shit, and then just short, choppy shit. But I wouldn't, I would just stay away from like real like melodies, I think would be my kind of answer if you want it to sound real. Beyond that, a lot of reverb. Sometimes cutting the high end helps, depending on the sample set. If it's a really good sample set, you don't have to, but some of the shittier ones, like the really crisp, fuzzy high end stuff, can sometimes sound a little too clean. And then again, if you can get a musician to layer on top of the MIDI, I mean, I don't know. It's like, how hard can it be? Like, if you go to college or high school, like, you've got to know someone who's like, oh, that person's good at violin, and just invite them over and, like, figure it out, Like, I think it's really worth it to do that if you can. All right, next song.
J Definition.
From the silence, I've been staying up and that's still wide awake. You made me want someone I couldn't recognize. It's fine, I just thought you really meant that on the day you claimed me. Got me building walls that's fortified. Can't let you see what's inside. How you frontin' when you know it's on the line. Whole thing is why we go and let go, let it die. We done waited all our lives. If I gave you all of mine, would you take it? Or leave it abandoned? I can manage it when you not here. I can't stand it, act like you not it. Only one that held you on the way down. You don't know nobody that can say that. If I'm the one inventing all these feelings, how come you bought it? Quick to go pretend like I ain't do what I said. Falling for you turned into a fallout. Now I'm sitting waiting on your call now. Say, gotta say, I want it back. I want you here. Can you hear me back? You said that you would call me. Saved by your waves, I want it back. Without you here, can't handle that. You said you want it all.
That was cool. I really like your background vocals. That was my favorite part of it. Was just the texture of the background vocals just really added a lot of character to it. It's really like every time they came in, the harmonies and shit. Those were some fake ass strings. I feel like in that one, it kind of like, it kind of works. I kind of like feel like the fact that they're fake is kind of part of it a little bit. Like it feels like it's supposed to sound like a certain era where like everyone is using fake strings, like early 2000s or something maybe. And I feel like it kind of works. I do think you could turn them down a little bit. I don't know. It's always funny because I do a lot of string arrangements for artists, and they usually turn my shit down, and it's like, it's slightly annoying because if I want to ever show people examples of my work, then it's like very hard to hear what I did. It's like, it's cool that I got the credit, but it's kind of like you can't really hear what the fuck is going on sometimes on these songs I've worked on. That said, I think they're right to do it. Like, it's just, and those are live strings, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not ever supposed to be the focus. I think it can detract a little bit from the coolness of it. Sometimes it can make things a little too sweet. Something maybe happens sometimes with my music too. It just gets a little some people are gonna find it a little bit like overly emotional and shit, and sort of like I think keeping things dark and sort of keeping the drums, obviously the vocal and the drums are, and then the bass are sort of the things that are gonna be the in the front, and then the music stuff, the sustain, the pad type shit, it just tends to be a little cooler sounding if it's not too loud. But yeah, it didn't really bother me that they were fake there, and you did kind of do what I was talking about, where the strings were like mostly just doing really long sustained shit, so it doesn't like stick out. Yeah, it's like doesn't sound like it's a fucking like elevator music, which is the risk when you start adding a lot of notes. I think they move quickly. But yeah, it was cool. Yeah, the vocals were cool. I really like the background vocals. I thought the drums maybe felt a little dated to me, but maybe that's the point. I don't know. I liked them a little bit more before the hats came in, but I don't know. It was cool. I like the energy of it. It was overall definitely felt like a specific combination of sounds that I thought was. I feel like it would definitely do some shit. Is that out? Who is this?
That was J Def Music in the chat.
Oh, okay.
They said I have a mutual friend with me and my engineer. She's a violinist that does film scores. Might have to be the move.
Right. Ace Laurent. Do we reply to them about? They sent an MP3. Does that work?
I'll double check on that.
It's just in the comments in the chat. Yo, wait. I'm just realizing somebody played a Lazy song earlier. I love her. I've seen her live. Oh my god. Really? I haven't noticed any female vocals so far. Maybe I was missing something. Maybe it was later in the song. Who submitted a 6-year-old Casey song in Discord?
I think it's a remix.
Oh, cool. Cool. Let's fucking keep going. I'm having a blast. How's everybody doing? Everyone enjoying themselves? Good.
All right.
Questions, issues, let me know. Yeah, all right, sure.
I got another one queued up.
Let's go, motherfucker!
Oh, hold on. Disappeared. Give me 30 seconds.
They like this fucking guy. Whatever. Say this. The landlord. What was the issue? Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's what it was. It was our sink was like our bathroom sink was like leaking a bit under the like if you open the cabinets under it, it was like clearly shit was like getting wet and stuff. And to fix it, they've had to we're now on today was the third of 4 visits. I think it'll be 5 by the time we're done. That involved like ripping gigantic holes in the wall above and below the sink, like turning the water off for like 5 hours, redoing the shower, which no one ever said anything about. We're not paying for it. It's just the landlord does it, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, just never like the guy who was supposed to repair all the holes today couldn't even do that in one trip, so he has to come back Friday, and the other fucking guy has to come back, and the sink had an issue that we didn't even that was created in the process of him fixing the other problem. He still has the rest, and after all the fucking holes in the wall, the sink still is not fixed, so it's like he has to come next week. Fantastic. All right, let's go.
Great. This is Selena in the chat as Love Francie, and this is their track Redo, or their brother's track Redo. Excuse me. Oh, hold on. There we go.
How do I fall for the same thing? Oh, no teens, and I wish I was sleeping. Same ways, but just different days, and I'm over it. Yeah, I'm over it. I don't wanna redo. I don't even wanna see you. No, forget about it. No redo. Stop saying that's what we do. When we play these games, I've gotten used to the rules. Now stay strong for me. I know you won't be getting dizzy now. I thought that I told you fun games, yeah. It's
Interesting. I'm very curious how that was made. That's all like live, like the drums are live and everything, the guitar and everything. I assume the guitar is. Is that like a band? Or did you play all the parts or you like hired session musicians or whatever? I mean, I don't think we've had something that I don't think we've ever actually had something that sounded quite like that in terms of just like how aggressively live everything was.
I liked it.
Okay. It
These,
reminded me a little bit of like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like that era and
yeah.
shit, I guess. I didn't love the guitar tone, and also I felt like the intro music, like that exact voicing of those and those chords and shit, was a little too like Dr. Luke for me. It kind of just, I just thought I was about to hear like Katy Perry or like Khalid or some shit like that. But I like your voice. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with this. I mean, it was all like pretty well done and shit. I feel like maybe the drums could have been a little dirtier, maybe. Like they felt a little like the drums and the guitar both felt just a tiny bit like like I don't know how to say this. Like when you're in Logic and you're trying to like or GarageBand or something and trying to make a live band shit, but all you have to work with is like the loops and stuff in there. It sounds more offensive than I mean it to, but just kind of like sort of a little bit. I guess kind of the issue that I have with MIDI strings, and not that that was MIDI because I don't think it was, but just like that it felt like it wasn't gritty or like live, like it wasn't enough like noise or shit in there somehow to make it feel like I don't know. One thing I think the drums could have maybe done that I feel like a lot of some of those '90s records did is that you'd get like kind of a short reverb, like as if they recorded in a garage or something on it, and it just kind of makes the snare just hit a little bit more like a gunshot, and just everything's just a little more fucking aggressive because it all just kind of gets this slap kind of sound. Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And also, I don't know like if that would improve it. That I mean, it's just like it's not gonna make it a thing that I like do understand, but that lick is really catchy. It's stuck in my head. So I mean, you know, I gotta hand that to you. I don't know. Very curious. Like, who is this? And what? How did they end up doing this type of music?
So
No
they're,
loops on it.
yeah.
Guitar is all live. That's my fucking brother. There's some keys at the end of the track. Didn't have a band at the time, so he had kind of been all sorts of work. He's trying to grind out more stuff. I guess I would just say, like, I personally would just go for a sound that's a little more. I don't fucking know. Just like I just feel like more elements that I don't know. I'm really trying to figure out how to say this in the most helpful way. Like, there's just not a lot of music out there. Maybe it's a good thing, but there's not a lot of music out there that sounds like this much, just like a band, I guess, without any kind of like real electronic shit or sampled shit or like some chopped up shit or some distortion or just something to say like, you know, like we have all these tools at our disposal to make shit sound weird and cool and different, like and noisy and strange. And I feel like this felt a little bit like, all right, well, let's hire a session player to do the drums, and then, or maybe it's yourself, but then a session player to do the guitar. Okay, the guitar's good, the drums are good. You know, it's kind of like how I used to do a lot of Broadway stuff, and it's kind of like how they do demos a little bit, and they always sound good, but it's always just like, yeah, well, I know a guitarist. Okay, then we lay down the guitar. Okay, now we just need some drums. Okay, and then we get the drum. Okay, now we got the drums, and the drums sound good, and it's like it feels like at no point did like a producer step in and say like, okay, that's all cool. Let's just like print that, treat it as a sample, distort it, pitch it down, chop it up, and then just add some more, you know, just like, you know what I mean? That's almost like the starting point is this audio, you know? It feels like, to me at least, the way I produce. Maybe it works this way. But it's very like clean recordings of instruments played well, and it kind of feels like it's missing that kind of producer touch of just like, okay, what's like the sonic vision here? Sonically, it could be more interesting, I guess. Maybe it just feels a little bit like a like an accurate performance of a song. But it's like, well, it's a well composed song. Like I like all the parts. I like the melodies. I like the vocals, so that's good. And I feel like all the parts are there, but I just kind of want to hear someone kind of rip it apart and distort it and just do some shit to it and make it, resample it and chop it and just kind of make it into this thing that's a little more like produced, I guess. That could mean making it more poppy. It could also mean making it more fucked up sounding, but there's just so much that could be done. Or just like running it all through a bunch of pedals, run the drums through some distortion pedals. It could be all done with analog gear, but yeah, it feels a little clean, a little accurate, a little clinical to me. That would be my suggestion. But that's good. I mean, it's good that you're able to do all this stuff this way. I mean, it's a good start because a lot of people can't do any of that shit. But then I think the next stage would just be like finding ways to push it just texturally, sonically. To me, I think that's what would make it more interesting to me. Even that 90s stuff. I mean, the 90s stuff was a little bit different because it was just an era where like a lot of bands literally all they could do was record their instruments and then maybe they add a couple effects at the end. But like any kid with a laptop who's like 10 can come up with like crazy fucking sounds on there without even having a studio. And I feel like if you're competing with that, you should really consider every aspect of the process and just try to find something special that you can do with it. But this is my taste. Nice work, though.
Awesome. Next up is Ace Laurent.
Q. Fire. So that was also like pretty retro. Like, I mean, it was very 90s, like not a lot in there that I would call like super modern and updated, but I do think like, not to compare, but to directly compare the last two songs, I guess, I feel like that last one kind of had all the stuff that I was missing from the previous one, but was still, it's the same raw elements pretty much. The vocal texture was even kind of similar. Same, guitars, drums, whatever. It was all kind of the same type of shit. It literally sounded like it could have been the same artist. But that one, to me, just sounded like that last step had been taken where every sound had just been like, fucked with and massaged and sort of created into this texture that had like more grit and edge and everything was kind of driven harder and like, it was mixed in an interesting way. And I feel like that it's actually like a subtle difference, but it made a big difference to me. I did like that one, the composition of that one. I don't have like a lot of references for grunge or like any music, but having like listened to every Nirvana song ever a million times, I feel like it definitely reminded me of some of that, like, or Bleach era, or like some of the earlier. I guess there's some of the indie Euro shit too, but just the type of melody that like that kind of almost like bluesy, but yeah, I fuck with it. It's cool. I really like that era of music, so it's always a pleasure to hear shit like that. But yeah. That was cool. Who's that?
That was
Ace Ventura.
Ace Laurent.
Killer, Joy Division, yeah. See, I don't know anything. I like know who those people are, but I like literally don't. I can't name a song by either one. Isn't that fantastic? Must be so strange being me. I love Nirvana. Drop the ad. Everyone should do that. As your music's being played, just spam the shit out of your Instagram shit so everyone can follow each other and like create,
Is there a recorded version of your Nirvana cover from tour?
Yeah, I was actually just sent it off to mix like 30 minutes before the shit started.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it was for those who saw the tour. It was fucking awesome.
I can send it to you if you want. We could listen to that in a bit. Here, yeah, I'll send that. It's not, I don't know, it's not really like a very showy production. I mean, it's really just piano and voice and cello, but I'll save it. We'll listen to it when it's out. But I do have another thing I'm going to play you guys in a minute.
Sweet.
All right, let's keep going.
Next up is Nature Player.
Fire.
Chasing dreams of drumming in a bar at 14. Can't believe I got away with it. Spreading myself thin since 14. Wonder when I'm gonna pay for it. Decade onward and it's still free. I hope I get away with it. But each day it seems the tension gets a little bit stronger. I'm sorry I've been stringing you along. It won't be for much longer. Wanna believe my own fears are all I need to keep pushing on. I'm used to writing songs that aren't quite the song. But if I write the right song, you listen for a little bit longer. And I wonder what you'll say to me. I wonder where I'll be in 10 years. Wanna believe it'll be okay if it's the same place I'm in right here. I'm sorry I've been stringing you along.
Yeah, cool. I like the texture of that guitar a lot. Like all that sonically was really nice. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we cut it out before there's like a big hook or whatever, but I do feel like I could use a little bit more of a melody. I mean, I don't know. I tend to not gravitate as much towards the stuff that's kind of like vaguely like rapping on a couple different notes that's kind of just arrhythmic, like, talking, I guess. Not rapping, but talking on pitch, I guess, feels like it's cool. I know there's a lot of songs that do that in the verse. Not the type of shit I know how to do very well, but I hope that at some point there's a hook that's got a real melody that kind of moves out of that range and opens it up and has some more like rhythmic definition. But putting that aside, I really like the texture, I really like the world there. It's cool. Sounds good. And it is like aimless in a particular way that I know a lot of people probably fuck with, that I tend to be more into shit that's just like, here's the fucking thing that you're supposed to pay attention to. But vibes, man. Fuck with that. Everyone follow this dude. Don't fuck this up for me. I just saw a video on Twitter that was like, I just sent this to you, Trevor. Is there a way to put this is there a way to put like a link to a video in the chat? I don't know, like.
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, fantastic. It's just this guy. Everyone watch that video. It's just this guy like cutting open fruit and then getting like really stoked about it. Like big ass like melons and shit. I'm gonna watch it again. It's fucking crazy.
Shout out to Dinky Blinky 434 and Zenai for subscribing. You guys are awesome. Fucking give me your artist names in the chat, and we'll make sure you guys are bumped to the front of the line.
Bump to the front.
Shout out to Callie made this as well. They just subscribed. Damn, a lot of subscribers. Shout out to y'all.
This is fantastic. I'm having a fucking blast. My God.
All right. In the meantime,
Almost done with my Susan soda. Really looks like just like radioactive piss, doesn't it? But it's not. I had that last night.
it's Mountain Dew.
Yeah, well, there's a thing called Mountain Suze, which got really popular last year with the Amaro nerds, which is just this and Mountain Dew. I tried one. It's a lot, but it did work. Yeah, what else is happening? I guess we could play my song. Let's just keep. You want to play my song, or should we?
I got one more queued up.
All right, perfect.
This is produced by Maiden Callie, and this is their track Alistar.
Me calimitas.
Okay. I assume nothing else happens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I liked it. It was a good vibe. I really liked how you had it transposed from the intro, right? It went up like a half step or something from the intro into the main song. It was kind of a really cool effect. It's good. More people should do shit like that because it really doesn't make it any harder to write a song over it. But it's just like you don't really hear key changes in songs that often. It's just kind of like Rockstar by Post Malone does a key change down a fifth, I think. But this is a lot more obvious and kind of weirder because it's just like, wow, shit. So yeah, nice. I like the textures. I don't know. I like that kind of like bubbly thing. I like doing stuff like that. It's a good way to make stuff interesting. It's just kind of like throw a sound that kind of like splashes through every 8 bars and just catches your attention, but it doesn't take up space the rest of the track. Kind of, you know what I mean? It just kind of comes and then goes. So it's a really good a good way to keep your shit from getting like too fucking, you know, packed and full. But yeah, drop your @ Thank you. That was fire. Someone should get on that. Anyone here want to get on that beat right now? We can make that happen. Y'all could literally do this right now. This could be a thing that happens. Okay? So don't sleep. Okay.
Sweet. Next up is Zenai, and then I'll pull up your track.
Sure.
Included several beats plus some masters and roughs with artists that I've worked on. So I believe this is
Yeah.
a
Cool.
couple of options.
Well, we'll play one.
Yep. I'm going to play the top one.
How's everybody doing? Anyone ask me anything? Any questions, thoughts? Put it in the chat. I'm here. If you haven't, if you've been, I'll. Hot and Dirties. What is that? Is that a regional thing? Google it. Hot and Dirty. Is that a martini? Hot and Dirty martini? I never heard of this shit. Holy shit, I never fucking heard of this.
Sé que extrañas volverme a ver, lo sé, que nunca es tarde para hablar, aunque tú me hagas mal. Sé que extrañas volverme a ver, lo sé, que nunca es tarde para hablar, aunque tú me hagas mal. Si vienes tienes mi atención, me caigo lento y comienzo con tus ojitos coquetos, my, tus labios disparan tensión. Que nunca sepan tus amigas, manténlo bajo en silencio. Siempre busco la oportunidad pa' quitarte el broche de Kenzo, yeah. Me gusta cuando tus manos suben y siento que voy a morirme. Sé que puedo caer de nuevo en tu encanto y no voy a poder salirme. Siempre me mantienes delirando y eso es lo más terrible. Pero pa' qué mentirte, nunca cambias.
So this was a producer submission. They did the beat.
I see. Yeah, I guess I should have thought about that more before I listened, but sounded good. I don't really have much to say. Yeah, I don't know. Can you just play it again and I'll listen to the production more?
Yep.
Just play like 20 seconds of it. I'll get the point. I don't know. I mean, it sounds good. I'm trying to think if I can give you feedback. I'm trying to give some kind of critical feedback. That's cool texture.
Sé que extrañas volverme a ver, lo sé, que nunca es tarde para hablar, aunque tú me
I got it. I got it. Is that a vocal chop in that intro? It's kind of what it sounds like, but it's definitely like, yeah, it's gone through some shit that I've never really heard it done exactly that way. I usually feel like I do like vocal chops and stacks and stuff, but I feel like I'm always trying to preserve the texture of a vocal, like the airiness of it and stuff sometimes. But I feel like that what was cool about it to me was that I feel like together with the guitar, it actually was like kind of hard to tell which was which. Like once they were playing together, they kind of like blended together into this like new texture that was just kind of like fused. Just kind of, I thought it was cool. Um, yeah, that was what I liked about it. I mean, this type of production, it's like I don't even know. I mean, I don't really like do beats and pitch them to people, so it's always hard to say. But I feel like with this type of thing, it's like as long as the drum feels right and the progression is something that can be written over, which like the best way to learn that is probably just to like copy hits because there's like really not that many chord progressions people can comfortably write songs over, unless they're trying to be really weird with it. And I feel like you did both. And then beyond that, it's just like put a cool sound in the intro, because it's like I want to get people's attention. That's kind of the formula. But I do feel like it's just like there's probably fucking like 100 million beats that sound more or less like this out there, any of which could have a massive hit written over them. And whether they do or don't, I feel like it comes more down to just like the producer having relationships with artists, knowing how to make artists feel comfortable, knowing how to stay in touch with them, knowing how to get in a session and finesse this shit and like maybe, you know, um, just inspire them to write a good ass, maybe know some songwriters and shit. Like putting it together is like a lot of the job of that. As that's the difference between a producer and a beat maker. Really, it's like you're producing a record. You're trying to make a record exist. And it's like, in theory, like what's going to make the difference is just going to be like doing everything you can to make that happen. You know what I mean? Uh, well beyond just making the beat, but the beat sounds great. I mean, I think that you could write a hit over that beat. That song sounded pretty good to me. You know what I mean? It's hard though. It's like I don't want to name any names, but there's just a lot of songs on the radio that like you listen to the beat and it's like fucking like 10,000 producers could have made that beat, Like a lot of fucking people could have made it. It's not that special. And it's the reason it's a fucking hit is because the person who wrote on top of it wrote a hit, knew how to write hits, you know, like got lucky, was good at marketing their shit, you know what I mean? And the producer just was able to, believed in that artist or got it in their hands or just got lucky too. But it wasn't the strength of the beat, that did it, as long as it's above a certain level. So I guess that's all a backhanded way of saying you're there. I think this is good enough, So it's like, I don't know. I think the rest of it will just come down to like what your kind of strategy is, and hopefully you work with some of the people in here, get to kind of keep expanding your network because you never know what's going to lead where. Thank you.
I got one more sub submission, and then we can do your.
They said hot and dirties, and I looked this up, and it's a hot and dirty martini, right? We didn't skip. Did we skip your shit? Did we play Melt Your TV?
I think Melt Your TV
Okay,
didn't know
cool.
Yeah, we did it randomly.
All right, cool, got it. Hot and dirty martini. Yeah, I have never heard of this. I just looked it up. I was kind of amazed. I've never heard of it. I mean, it sounds like decent. I mean, I assume you're doing it with vodka. I mean, it's kind of like it's on the fringe of what I would consider a cocktail, to be totally honest. Like it's a cocktail the way like a Bloody Mary is a cocktail, which is to say like a bunch of shit that isn't alcohol and then just like put vodka, which is just straight ethanol in it. So it's like it sounds really good. Like if you handed me one, I think I'd be excited to drink it. But yeah, I'd be excited to see if you could do it with like if you do it with mezcal or tequila, start there and then maybe incorporate a couple other alcoholic ingredients. To me, like a real cocktail, the way I think of it, has at least like 2 alcoholic ingredients in it. Ideally, neither of which are vodka. Let's say for sure. So I mean, that's where I would, if you're trying to challenge yourself and get really into this shit, I would just I'd start with that formula and just start fucking around with changing out the vodka. It says some people do a gin, but I feel like gin doesn't make as much sense there. I would try tequila, mezcal. I mean, it wouldn't be a martini really, but you could do it with like scotch or dark rum. I bet those flavors would work really well with that shit. Anything that's got like smokiness in it. Be down to try it. But it sounds like it'd be delicious with vodka too. It's not gonna change my life as a snob with this shit. What's a good amount of songs to you for an album? There's no answer. I mean, Kanye did a whole, you know, spring 2018 with 7-song albums, and I thought those were pretty good and felt the right length to me. I think it's like more in minutes to me. Like I think an album should be, well, I don't know. Like Tierra Whack did her album, and that was like minute-long tracks, and then I think the whole thing was probably about it was under 15 minutes, I think. And that's cool if you're trying to like make a interesting point and be crazy about it, which is cool. But I think just assuming you're not doing something like that, and that I think to me like an album should be like it shouldn't be under 20 minutes. And I feel like if you really want people to feel like they got something out of it, like closer to 30 and above 30, definitely, I think is what I would shoot for. I just feel like it's just artist you are and what your relationship with your fans are. But I just feel like to make people wait a long ass time for an album and give them like 25 minutes of music is like feels a little short to me. This is my personal taste though. I think in the half hour or more range is good. These days they're shorter though. I mean, like no, I don't think anybody really wants like an hour long album either. So I feel like between 30 and 45 right now is a good. I think I did 40. I think like 40 or 41 minutes for my last album. I actually don't know that information. I'll kind of check it right now. I think I'm gonna go a little shorter. The next one I'll probably go for like 30, 35. But let's check it out. What do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, they don't tell you, do they? They say the song numbers, but they don't say the length. So we'll never know. If anybody knows, tell me. But yeah, good question. What do you think? What do you guys think? How long do you want an album to be? Vodka, olive juice, vermouth, either pepperoncini juice, Tabasco, or anything spicy. It sounds fucking great. How long did it take you to create Everybody's Cool with Me? I mean, the song was most songs was written in an afternoon. Most of the songs, I mean, this new album I'm doing a little bit differently, but most of the time it's always like the songwriting session is like, you know, that was a funny one because I had been working with this kid named Sean. Fuck is his last name? He's from Massachusetts. He's like a songwriter. He's written for some sort of pop people, and I had just started shifting towards wanting to do stuff that was a little more. I think that song was initially inspired by this song called CRV by Kuko. In my CRV, and I was like da 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 da. Everybody's cool but me. It was like just that, and then I changed it to everybody. I added that later. And I was just like on this slightly rappier shit, and this dude he's like much more just like pop melodies, and Steve's just kind of like, dude, I don't really know how to do this type of stuff. I feel like I might just call it for the day. And I'm not like that person who like leaves in the middle of the session, and he's the homie, but we're very different in that way. So he was just like, I'm out, and I was just like, I feel like this is cool, and I like this song, and I think it was a little bit of like, fuck that dude, he's still my friend, but I was just kind of like, oh, he's not feeling this. All right, I'm gonna like prove that this song is good, So just like, and I was inspired by it. So I just spent another few hours by myself, just kind of making it. Had that whatever that thing started out as like a ocarina sound or something in Logic, and then I think right around that time was when I was like, I should probably just like be doing the strings all over my own records too, not just in the people I work with. If you go back before that, I had like High in the Woods and stuff, all these songs that don't even have strings on them. But so then I was like, okay, well, I can play that with viola, and then I started adding the stuff like in the intro and other moments where the song just cuts out and goes to like some different production instead of just continuing the loop. And that was sort of a process that I spent some time on after the Kanye shit, where I was kind of like trying to make stuff more interesting to kind of satisfy my brain after doing that process. But not too long. Mostly a day, and then kind of just dipped into it a few times for a month after that. Olive garnish, blue cheese. Yeah, cool. All right. Nighty night. Drashe. If anyone needs MIDI string stuff, hit him. He's absolutely right. He is really good with that shit. Totally different. I think you'll like. Kind of inspired by a Stone Shake. Tasty, different martini, not a cocktail. Well, I mean, a martini is a cocktail because a martini has vermouth and gin. That's 2 alcoholic ingredients. You know what I mean? To me, that's like it's like actually a cocktail because they've mixed 2 alcoholic things and they work together well, and it's like because it's like someone knows how the two things function. They like made it, and it's like mixing alcohol with alcohol and knowing how to do that. To me, is what like cocktails are really about. If you really are like a fucking snob with this shit, and so martinis are amazing. I fucking love martinis. I think it's probably the best cocktail ever. You know, but this is like a martini the way like an apple teeny is a martini or like a Cosmos martini, which is say not at all. Just kind of vodka with other shit in it. But it's cool. It sounds fucking great. Again, I'm just a snob. Sean's last name is what the fuck is his last name? Kennedy. If a song is less than 3 minutes, it's too fast. I mean, every song is less than 3 minutes right now. I mean, that's just reality. I mean, like my album, I think we have like one song that's 3 minutes or longer on my entire album. Like, honestly, fucking like here, let's just go through New Music Friday real quick. I'm just gonna make my point. You think if a song is less than 3 minutes, it's too fast. Calvin Harris, new one is 250. Imagine Dragons is 3. Cardi's 3. There's a bunch of features. Those two places 352. Gucci Mane 218. Tiesto and Charlie X 210. J Hope is 3 even. J Balvin 232. And it has a feature on it 32. Yeat's new one is 246. 347. Aiden is 230. Griffin and Mo have one 236. Montel Fish, I don't know who that is, 221. Youngblood's new song is 156. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's your taste. Bozzy has a new one, 253. Sabrina Carpenter, 230. The next 5 songs after that are all under 3 minutes. So, not saying you're wrong, but definitely like where people are at right now, I think a lot of people seem to be fucking with short songs, and I wouldn't limit yourself to not doing it. That said, if the whole thing is that you want long songs and you want to stand out because you don't do it, like Lana Del Rey dropped a song like a year or two ago. It was like the first song off, I think her last album, that was like 7 minutes long. It was the coolest, like, fuck you, I don't do that shit. That was kind of cool. But I don't think, I wouldn't dismiss people who are doing shit under 3 minutes because it's fucking everybody. Just people are on that short shit right now. It wasn't always this way though. 2010 era, everything off Dark Twisted Fantasies is like 8 minutes long. Justin Timberlake's album that year, I remember, 2020 Experience, all those songs. I mean, those are kind of like needlessly long, I'd say. Like they're like 3.5 minute pop songs that then like have like 3 minute outros after them. But 2020 Experience, 8 minutes, 5:26, 7:10, 7:59, 6:46. Yeah, it's fucking so over the top. So you know, it ebbs and flows. The trend will swing back. If you like long shit, make long shit. But yeah, definitely. I don't know that we've like even because Pink Panthers is not even like that's like new shit. I don't think we've hit the point yet where we're at the shortest shit. All right, whatever. Let's play some songs. Sorry.
All right, so last one of the subs, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but is Dinky Winky 434 in the chat. This is Antoine
Thank you, Love Francie.
Eilish.
My album's 37.9 seconds. Thank you for that. All right, cool. Let's hear it.
You called me up last night, say you on cloud 9, 'cause you found love at the nice guy. But that don't really mean he a nice guy. What's his name? Where he from? Oh wait, I know think I just met him the other night. He tried to pick me up with the same line. Listen honey, I will never tell you what to do, but this is how you get a man to never miss with you. Go ahead, show him who's the boss. Stop to walk and let him watch. He'll be begging you for more. Tease him, touch him, let him wait the poison. Yeah, he loves the taste. He'll be begging you for more. If he wanna play dirty, then we gonna play dirty. So dirty, yeah, so dirty. If he wanna play dirty, then we gonna play dirty. So dirty, yeah, so dirty. Go on, hit him up, you know what? That sounds fun. We both call him up at the same time. Think you're getting lucky in the same night. It's a day and night. Show up and surprise. We thought it was 2, but it's us 3. You're looking like a fool at the marquee. Listen, honey, let me tell you what we gotta do. This is how you get a man to never fuck with you. Go ahead, show him who's the boss. Stop to walk and let him watch. He'll be begging you for more. Tease him,
Everybody's distracted. It's okay. Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, it's very like pop in sort of like the most kind of like the pop music machine kind of way. And I think that's like it's interesting because we get a lot of entries from people who like don't have any idea how to make that type of stuff. And then I almost never get it from people who do, and it's interesting because that is very just like that's the type of song that gets like pitched around to like whoever, like Sabrina Claudio or whatever the fuck, which is cool. Do you live in LA or like New York maybe? I'm kind of curious. Like, I mean, it's like I feel like people don't make that type of music in their bedroom in like Minnesota. I could be wrong. I feel like that is the type of shit you make because you're like in the fucking machine. And that's not to say it's not good. I think it is really good. But I think the way for that type of music, like you could try to get like a TikTok thing going for it. Although I really feel like the path, if that's the type of music you want to make, is probably going to be through like signing a pub deal, writing with a lot of big pop writers and producers that the publisher sets up with, and trying to be the next, Julia Michaels, whatever type person. And then at some point, hopefully, these songs just keep getting better and better and better until someone just signs you off of it and is just like, let's just go all in on this shit. It's a very hard path. I think it's the hardest path. But the upside is also enormous because like you're making real hits kind of thing. I'm not saying whether or not that was one, but it's sort of got the sound that's got that kind of like radio type sound, I think. And I think, yeah, like it's just like there's not like a. And I think this is the thing sometimes people fuck up when they try to market music like that, is that they're like, oh, we need like a cool story and we need like an underground fan base. And it's just like the underground fans are not into that type of shit. Like that's the type of shit that just like goes, maybe it goes crazy on TikTok, but probably it just goes straight to like Spotify pop playlists, and then it hopefully does well on there, climbs the main chart on there, and then gets thrown on the radio. It's like it's like the machine is going to take that shit all the way to the top, kind of. And if it reacts well at every stage, it could be a hit. And you're basically just like writing a lot of songs that kind of have that sound, trying to get a hit. But it's just very polished and very commercial sounding. And I think as a result, you're not gonna fucking like, you're not gonna come up through like kids on like the Kanye forum being, like the Brockhampton kids or some shit being like, oh yeah, this is fire, It's gonna come up because like it's just a fucking hit. And at some point you'll write that song. And at that point, your goal is just to be as connected as possible so that enough people in LA kind of like hear it and are like, okay, well, this is something we could push, And I think the way to do that is like writing for other artists, because those types of songs do get cut pretty easily, Not easily, because there's a lot of people doing it, but like, that's like, you clearly know the sound that can get that type of shit, and that's, get a pub deal off of it. That's what I would say. My advice. Okay. Nice work. Who was that?
That, excuse me. That was.
Are they in here?
Yeah, that was Antoine Eilish, and it was Dinky Blinky 434. They haven't written a lot of messages, but they were active.
Cool. Thank you. I mean, it's cool. I'm excited. I would love to hear more about like what you're trying to do. But it's cool. We don't get a lot of those, so it's cool to just get that kind of thing from time to time. Okay. Nice work.
Would you like to play your track or more submitters first?
Yeah, let's do one more submission and then me, and then more submissions.
Okay, great. This is CKD with their track Tragedy.
Cool.
Wonder how I
That's kind of like a little bit where I'm trying to go with my next shit a little bit, which some of y'all have heard. I like it. Yeah, the vocals sound good. I really like how the chorus. I mean, it seemed like the second thing was the chorus, right? When it went low, it was like lower, and that was the chorus. That's how it felt to me. It was cool. It was like it almost felt like a key change. Weirdly, it was like something about the way the first melody had been oriented, like had me a little disoriented, or like I misunderstood, I guess, what the key of the song was, kind of until that chorus came in. It was this cool moment of just like weird. It was like unexpected, but really satisfying musically in a way that I actually can't quite put my finger on it. I have to kind of like listen again and make a couple notes, but I really like how that worked. Who's that?
That was Melt Your TV in the chat. They produced this.
Oh yeah. Nice, cool. Really like it. Who's the artist? Are you the artist too? Let me know. What everyone else think? Yed is a fire vocalist. Yeah, it's a good combo. You guys work really well together. You should do more shit. I really like your production. Some of y'all should get with his production, maybe. Where are you guys located? And where or like, I don't know. Anything you want to tell me. Please follow this motherfucker. Boston. Nice. You can kind of hear it. You should do a song with Brevin Kim. It kind of reminds me of their shit. It's a little bit different. But, you know, same vibe, and they're from Boston, too. They live in LA now, but those are my guys. I don't know if you know them. Nice. Cool. I'm excited to hear more. What did it, so is that out, or are you guys going to put more shit? You're making more of this stuff, or what? Cool. All right, cool. Got it. I got it. I'm trying to. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm here. I'll keep reading. But yeah, you want to play? So I'm just working on the I'm doing like a strings. Y'all know my thing, Chamber Johan. It was like I took some of my old songs and did strings and vocal versions of them with no drums and shit. And I'm basically going to do that for my entire album. Put it out in a couple months. I'm sort of finishing it right now. Oh god. I need to work on it for a couple more weeks. Get it mixed. Shoot some videos. Mr. Hudson's back in August, so I want to do one with him, maybe one with River. So, and that's with the extended version of
Burning Sky.
it's just called Burning Sky, right? I was going to call it World on Fire. That's what it's called. I can't remember the names of my own fucking songs anymore. So yeah. Anyway, this is the Don't Wait for Me version. It's very weird. This is one that I like that actually worked out easier than I expected. The couple that I'm still trying to figure out, like Don't Be a Loser and like I'm a Mess. Those ones I'm still trying to get right. But this one, it's very odd. It's like kind of jazzy, but it's also still kind of classical. It's just strange. I put piano in this one, kind of tied it together. But it is just. You tell me what you think. I don't know what the fuck it sounds like. Love to know what your thoughts are.
You got a 9 to 5 line. Hate on a suit and tie line. Living on gin and tacos. I wish it was 8, it's not though. I got another late night. You got an early deadline. Never on matching timelines. If you got sleep now, that's fine. Just don't wait for me. If I'm off on my bullshit, just chasing dreams. I know that you're hanging there patiently, but I might not get home till you hate me, yeah. So don't wait for me. If I never go up, just don't wait for me. Even though I could swear you were made for me, I might keep going hard till you hate me. So don't wait for me, yeah. Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. I don't know if I'll ever getting my act together. Yeah, maybe it won't get better. And you could do so much better. Sharing a couch at my friend's house. Cooking on ramen instead of going out. See, all of this I've accepted, and I get it if you don't get it. Just don't wait for me. If I'm off on my bullshit, just chasing dreams. I know that you're hanging when I get home, do you hate me? Yeah. So don't wait for me. If I never grow up, just don't wait for me. Even though I could swear you were made for me, I might keep going hard till you hate me. So don't wait for me. Yeah. Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me.
Almost over. Yeah. It goes on for another like 12 seconds or something. But yeah. Thanks. Very weird. Yeah, the whole it's gonna be the whole album. Maybe I'll cut a song or two, but they really aren't working. But more likely, if if like "Don't Be a Loser" and shit's just getting boring, I'll probably just cut a verse out, just keep it a little short. But right now, it's feeling pretty good. That's still using like the vocals are all still kind of like the fully produced vocals. I don't know if I should like redo them to sound a little more like live, I guess. But I'm gonna think about it. Yeah, I mean the low end could probably be a little louder and punchier on that shit, just because like there's no drums, and so it's like you need something to kind of like thump really hard to make it, you know, move at all. But that's like a mixed thing, I think. But I don't know, figure it out. That's like the texture, just like some of the like mechanical things are just making sure that it hits in the right spots. I think. But thanks. Some more music. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I expect that in a couple months. I'll probably do some singles before it first. The biggest thing on there that's going to be cool is going to be the full version of Burning Sky, which is really just the song with a long verse from me and then two choruses. But yeah.
All right, next up is D Lightning. This is they just resubbed. Shout out to them for second month in a row. And then after this, we're into the non-sub randomized submissions.
Take this up another fight. Going places like my name, yeah, I'm strong. She made two races and then make it wrong. I'm just trying to put my life into the sun. Take this up another fight. Going places like my name, yeah, I'm strong.
Shooting threes while she shoots pornos. TJ Leaf plays for the Blazers, but he lacks the fire of the Inferno. I can make it to a final round. He can't make it past the first round.
She made two races and then make it wrong. I'm just trying
What
to
just
put my
happened?
life into the sun. Take this up another fight.
That was crazy.
That was a joke, right? But I really like the production, and I really like that melodic part at the beginning. I really like the end that came back there. That hook. I really like the vocal tone on it. Really like the melody and stuff.
Oh, he said I cut it in the middle to get your thoughts on the second verse before I make another remix.
Oh, so was that the first verse? I don't know. I don't know if we just listened to the part you wanted us to listen to, but I fuck with it. I like the production. Yeah, I like that melody. Obviously, that rap verse is the weirdest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. It kind of sounds like more like the type of thing that should just be like a voice memo or a transition on the album. You know, just like a skit or something with some music under it, than like in the middle of a song. But yeah, nice work. Cool. Is it whose voice is it? In the melodic part. 'Cause that shit was tight. Uh,
Next up is Aiden. They're a newcomer. Shout out to them.
welcome.
Tired of all these trials, pushing me further. I haven't walked those miles, then gone further. And you can go and break me down, but you can never break these walls. I'm sorry that you never found that I'm not that person at all. Sorry that I
Cool. I liked the verse kind of reminded me of Johnny Vice, my friend Johnny Vice, a little bit. I really liked how the vocal was like it was like bone dry. Sounded to me. It didn't sound like there was anything on there at all, reverb wise, or delay. I thought it was kind of cool. I feel like that type of music is usually like just fucking saturated with delay and shit, especially with the synth and stuff. But it's like the synth does so much work to keep the sustained kind of emotional shit going that it's like it's you didn't even need anything on the vocal after that to, because that's usually what the function of like, I'm sorry, if you go like a vocal it's on top of like plucks or something. Sometimes it's like the vocal needs some like reverb and delay to kind of like create the sense of like a sustained harmonic texture or whatever, because the plucks are so short. But then when you have the pad, it's like that's already there. It's kind of hard to hear a vocal. Hard like in a good way, just like to hear a vocal, just nothing on it over. I thought it was really cool. That's my favorite thing about it. I like your voice though. It's cool. Who is this?
That was
You already got a fan.
Aiden
Brooks
Shaw.
Early is trying to work. Look at that. Brooks is fire. Y'all should connect for sure. Make sure, yeah, y'all should connect right now. Everyone should link, honestly, always, but especially right now. Let's do another one.
Next up is Montana.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Everybody give it up for Montana on the vocals right now. Fire it up, Colorado, come on!
Went from Texas to Oklahoma, to New York City, New York City. Back to Tennessee, yeah. And I just gotta get back to Happy Valley, yeah.
Yo, that was really cool. I really like that. I really like the texture of the voice with the production and shit. I feel like you could ride that sound all the way to the top. It's just always that kind of. That was kind of dry too as a vocal. I feel like, and just very raw sounding. I mean, obviously tune was super hard, but I feel like it wasn't like saturated and reverb and delay and shit. I thought it was really cool how it just kind of like, you know, just sort of mumbly, but then it was still, I don't know. I mean, you could always build on that vibe and just kind of write catchier melodies, but I feel like it was surprisingly captivating melodically, and like texture was amazing. I love just the vibe and everything about that. It was really just creepy. I turned my speakers up so I could hear it on my headphone. Who's that? That's fucking sick. I would just, yeah, Montana. Nice. I fuck with that a lot. Nice work. Y'all should connect. Don't sleep on this character. Okay. Trevor, we got more music. What is this?
Sorry, I realized I was muted. Okay, I was talking. This is our next submission is Do More.
Okay. Still doesn't explain. Whatever, yeah, go ahead. All right, yeah, I think we got it. That was fucking insane. So weird. That was just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was cool. It was really fucking weird. Who is that? Is that like a style of music? Like other people, like who would get on that? Who do you hear on it? Anybody? I don't know. Like what? Yeah, very odd. Kind of remind me a little like Kenyan pop music or something, maybe. I don't know. All right, what else we got? Yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear who you think we get on that. I mean, it's cool that it's different. I feel like it's like so far out there that I'm not sure what would happen with it. But I like that it's different. Maybe you should make your own shit on that type of beat. Maybe you should get a vocal on there. Get a vocal on there and play it again in a couple weeks. I would love to hear that with a vocal on it. I think it would really. I would be extremely curious. Like, unless you were not planning on doing that at all. But I feel like it sounds like it wants a vocal. I'd be really, really curious to see where it goes. So, come back with that shit soon, please.
Next up is Brooks Early.
I'm the only one running across the sun. Too hard to respond. Girl, I thought I won, but I'm not the only one. Nobody's tired. I know there's always someone else. Never good enough, never smart enough, never loud enough, never grand enough. You wanna run out of blood for the junk. You want everything I think and everything that I've ever done. You wanna talk about one, but you ain't wanna shit for me right now. Walk one side night, palm trees, nice breeze. All around is only in my dreams. I'm discussing everything, why would I trust? Never was enough. I've been telling you, you've been fucking crazy. I've been lazy, thing that ain't gon' face me.
Cool. So some of the vocal delivery kind of gave me this like like early 2000s like British vibe a little bit, you know, just that kind of like slightly somber, like drawling kind of delivery. I don't know, it's kind of cool. And then combined with everything else, I feel like it worked. It was like just different enough vocally that I feel like it. I would be down to hear your vocal over some like rock tempo drums too, just to try it if you haven't done that. I feel like it'd be a really good fit. But I also like that this was like kind of a slightly unexpected matchup the way you did it. I thought it was cool. It was kind of a subtle thing. That was just kind of how I picked up on it. But yeah, nice. Who's that?
That
Sour John.
that was Brooks Early.
Oh, hi. Oh, they're responding. I see. Okay. All right, cool. So we can play Stacy now. Stace.
Yep.
All right, cool.
This is Stacy.
Everybody's dropping their ads, right? Following each other, please. For the community.
Make it quick, cause I got company. They finna roll her song. You remind me of my Jason. Come around this afternoon, this afternoon, this afternoon. Come around this afternoon, this afternoon, this afternoon. Can't deny I'm drawn to you. Your whole cocoa times two. The layers of this overlap. Me, I can't escape my past. Make it quick, cause I got company. They finna roll her song. You remind me of my Jason, but that won't kill my blues, blues, blues. That won't kill my blues, blues, blues. That won't kill my blues. Second best one do no good. Maybe I misunderstood. I keeps you need to distract.
Nice. I like how warm the vocal was. Like it was just mixed very like it sounded like it was recording a really good mic to me. I don't know if it was, but or it had some really good like preamps or some shit. It just has that real like just that like real kind of warm shit that pushing like the mids, but without it sounding like annoying. So yeah, that was cool. And then actually I was thinking like for the previous artist, I feel like their voice, I would love to hear that person singing over this type of beat, maybe, if they're still here. Like, just, I think that is just going to be, maybe it's too obvious, but I'd be interested to hear that combination. I think it'd be like, sort of logical to me. But this is great. And I like it. Something with this type of music, especially back to you, is that sometimes the melodies can get kind of like aimless a little bit and just kind of like noodly and kind of like, you know, my voice is pretty and like I can do runs and shit, but like not, you know, really having any kind of structure to it. But I feel like you did a good job where it was just like just enough elements that were repeating in the right way to kind of keep it like it felt like it had a structure to it, but it was just very subtle. It didn't feel like it was you know, beating you over the head with it or whatever. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Nice. Can you drop your shit so we can? Cool. Yeah, people fuck with it. See, look at that. Collabs. Someone needs a hook from this person. Someone wants to send a beat to this person. Like, you know, come on, let's fucking, right? Let's get connected, y'all. Let's make some shit happen. What else we got? Let's do like a couple more and then, you know.
Yep. Next up is Eric Evie. They submitted their track Quarter Life Crisis. They have a music video submission. Unfortunately, we're not going to pull that up right now. We're just doing tracks tonight, so I'll still play the track. But hopefully we can get a system in place where we can start to show off some music videos as well.
It's over now.
ever leave. It's over now. Over now. This is a 25 quarter life crisis. It's never over, never over. Yeah. 25 living my 25 living my quarter life crisis. Posting on socials, but I'm living life private. Walk along the beach, along the coast when the tide's in. Hold myself accountable and I'm watching how my time spent. 25 living my hello can be as fresh as a pack of gum. I've been proud of your wins and I've been having me some. And my soul is my vessel for my mind of these lungs. Rising above these expectations that are holding me snug. Decorates the apartment, ignores it's under the rug. Invites over guests, I'ma bring what confidence does. I'll lose my connection when I live from above. But I don't have much to commemorate my past. Peaceful proof more than laugh, different groups more than tag.
Yeah. It sounds good. I mean, the production's good. I think, you seem like decent rapping for sure, and like vocal texture's good. I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's something about this type of thing that I feel like is a little tricky, where it's like sometimes it feels like, obviously it's a very short excerpt, but like feels like I'm being like told that something's like important and heavy, partly in the tone of voice, partly the subject matter, partly the music, probably the tone of voice most of all. But it wasn't like you were yelling and shit. But I don't know. It's sort of like when you put it all together, it feels a little bit like, I don't know. It's like a little bit like it's yelling at me to feel something. Like, but it's not like super far off. It's also like, I think there's like an audience for that stuff. I just feel like for me, it's like sometimes it's good to like if you're trying to make a point or a message or have a message with what you're saying, I feel like sometimes it's like more interesting to find a way to like sneak it in there or do it in a way that's understated and let people kind of figure it out than to be like hyping it, I think. That's just my reaction. But it was all like well done. Like, I mean, I think it's like good shit. I don't really have any like technical complaints. I just feel like tonally it felt a little bit like I don't know, I don't know. That's just my thought. I don't know what the solution is though. I could be wrong. That's cool though. Drop the shit in the chat so we can. Yeah, appreciate it. So like one or two more.
Yep.
But you tell me whatever.
Yep.
I'm just not.
I've got Devin Moore up next. They're from Mass.
Is everyone having
as well.
fun? Okay.
I spent so much time believing all the lies. One more fall I might not make. Might have lost my mind trying to keep it sane. Feelings don't die, deceiving at times. People talk down on me, but the meaning's what you found in me. Lost inside my mind, but I found myself tonight. When I'm dancing by myself, I'll be thinking about nobody else. Dancing by myself. Dancing by myself.
Good. Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I mean, it definitely more like Johan vocal to me. I mean, obviously sound totally different, but definitely is. I assume someone who's a fan of my shit would also be a fan of this stuff. I really liked it. I thought it was good, really good melody, and it's just cool hearing a melody that was kind of like, it had that kind of bigger, a little bit poppier kind of quality, but then it was you know, and it felt like you were reaching for it a little bit in a way that was like emotional in a cool way, but it was still like it was because it was like super low. It wasn't. I don't know. It was just like in this nice kind of warm register. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was tight. Who is this? I should also say, like, I'm basically never listening to lyrics on these, you know, just too much.
That was
Unless
Devin
they
Moore.
really stand out to me. Nice. Nice work.
All right, gang, we're gonna rapid
Um,
fire two at the end.
okay. Yeah, fuck with that. Everyone follow this person. This guy, I guess.
You cool with two more, Johan?
Oh, yeah, no. Fucking go.
This is Kusha.
Peace of mind, peace of mind. Be a part of my life tonight. We reside. You are passing by. I've been catching all these signs. I've been waiting all this time. Always working in.
Yeah, that was really rapid fire. I gotta pay closer attention. That was cool. I liked all the, like, it was like mad stacked vocals, right? It was just all this like very chaotic and chaotic production. I also like, I don't know, it's like it's like the rules are never like, you know what I mean? It's not rules. It's like, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, I really like how there was nothing in a song and it's like so simple. And then it's on this one I really liked how it was just fucking chaotic. It's so much going on. It felt really just cool. It's like a perfect, just very like vivid set of textures and shit that I really liked, and the vocal was a great part of it. It's awesome. Who's that?
I believe it's called, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Kusha.
Nice. That's definitely one of my favorite ones of the night so far, I think. That's weird.
All right, last one of the evening. If you didn't get played this week, tune in next week, same time, same place, and we'll make sure you're played.
Shit, I'm gonna follow this person. Kusha doesn't follow me. Damn. Oh well. Maybe next time. Although Nick Dybul follows them. Alright, cool, let's hear it. That was great.
There's too much. That's too much. That's too much. That's too much. There's too much love. Too much. There's too much. Too much. That's too much. Too much. There's too much love. Too much love. There's too much. There's too much love. There's too much love. Yeah, yeah. I wanna buy. Yeah, yeah. There's too much love. Yeah, yeah. I wanna. Yeah. There's too much. I wanna. Yeah. There's too much love. Yeah, yeah. There's too much. Yeah, yeah. There's too much love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody gotta get your damn hands up. Too much love, I don't think I can stand up. I've been working, I've been trying to get my bands up. Need enough to go to college for my grandson. Got grandson, about to get a mansion.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was Steezy, Bo Steezy.
Nice. Yeah. It sounded solid. Trying to think of something to say. I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe on that one the production was like slightly too hype for me relative to the vocal. I feel like it maybe had a little of the issue that I was talking about where a couple songs ago where I feel like the person, the vocalist was a little hyping a little like the lyrics harder than I wanted them to personally. This one I felt like the production was like I feel like you could write a song about like murdering somebody over that production, and then I feel like the actual song was like cool and nice, and I'd be interested to hear your vocal. I like your voice, and I like the production just as production, but I would be interested to hear your voice over something a little like more stripped back. That's all. I hope you do something and send it. But yeah, nice, really good. Most of the shit tonight was really good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I really liked. You're gonna do more in a week, so. Also, usually I'm on here on Monday just working on my own shit, making my album. So, come hang. And then next Wednesday we'll do more of this shit. And yeah, everyone have fun. Final thoughts? Did anybody ask anything? Say anything? Yeah. I'm glad to be here. Nice work.
Thanks everybody.